13 colonies faced Britain's mighty empire. Colonies were small, divided, far from wealthy. Britain ruled seas with immense armies and ships. King George III imposed taxes from London. Decisions were made thousands of miles away. Colonists felt their voices ignored. Tension grew under daily colonial life. Trade and farming masked rising anger. Taxes sparked resentment among the people. Daily life hid the growing unrest. Colonists began discussing unfair treatment. Rumors of rebellion spread quickly. No taxation without representation became a cry. Merchants worried about trade restrictions. Farmers resisted British taxes silently. Colonial meetings became secretive. Ideas of unity began to form. Some colonists debated armed resistance. Letters and pamphlets circulated the colonies. A spark of rebellion was about to ignite. The Stamp Act of 1765 enraged the colonies. Pamphlets spread anger and debate. Crowds filled the streets demanding change. Colonists chanted, "No taxation without representation." Tension grew as British soldiers arrived. Small protests escalated into clashes. In 1770, the Boston Massacre shocked all. Blood was shed on Boston's cobblestones. Outrage spread through the colonies quickly. 3 years later, the Boston Tea Party struck. Crates of tea were thrown into the harbor. Defiance turned into action. At night, Britain reacted with harsh, coercive acts. Boston's port was chained and shut. Colonists met secretly to plan resistance. Unity among colonies began to grow. Neighbors stood shoulder to shoulder. Discussions of rebellion filled secret rooms. The spark of open rebellion was near. The path to revolution was clear. April 19, 1775, marked the first battle. Militia faced disciplined British soldiers. The shot heard round the world rang out. Farmers stood against trained troops. Townsmen joined with rifles in hand. Smoke rose from the battlefield. Chaos spread to nearby. Concord bridges and roads became contested zones. Shots echoed across Massachusetts. Word of war traveled fast. The colonies realized rebellion had begun. Ordinary men faced a mighty army. Courage outweighed skill in these skirmishes. Smoke and dust filled the morning air. Patriots started to unite in resistance. Militia moved strategically across towns. Hope and fear mingled. In every home, local leaders coordinated plans. Rebellion became a tangible reality. The fight for freedom had begun. June 1775. Congress met in Philadelphia. George Washington was chosen to lead the army. He had battlefield experience in the French and Indian War. Supplies were few, and soldiers were volunteers. His task seemed impossible to many, yet Washington inspired calm and confidence. The colonies united under a single banner. Volunteers became soldiers with purpose. Strategy meetings guided the new army. Hope grew as leadership solidified. Citizens watched their army take shape. Discipline improved through training and guidance. Washington's calm was contagious. Patriots found unity and direction. Every town contributed volunteers. The army began to feel unstoppable. Delegates saw their vision coming alive. Washington symbolized hope for the colonies. America had a leader to rally behind. The revolution now had a guiding hand. July 4, 1776, marked a bold step. Delegates declared the colonies independent. Franklin and Adams watched closely. Jefferson's words spoke of equality. The Declaration risked everything. Treason in Britain, freedom in America. Patriots celebrated this vision of liberty. News of independence spread fast. Citizens felt the power of these words. Families discussed the new future. Courage was now legal and moral. Every signature carried risk. Freedom became a shared goal. Colonies now united in their vision. The Declaration inspired new hope. British response was harsh, and swift resistance grew across the colonies. Patriots prepared for inevitable conflict. Ideas of liberty spread everywhere. A nation's birth was in motion. Winter 1776 brought hardship to the army. Soldiers were exhausted, morale low. Supplies ran out and hope faded. Washington planned a daring move, crossing the Delaware at night. Men were so cold, but determined. Dawn broke on Trenton. Surprise struck the Hessian forces. The small victory revived the army. Hope returned to weary hearts. Washington proved daring leadership. Works volunteers now felt like soldiers. Every town heard the news. Morale spread across the colonies. The revolution seemed possible. Allies watched the success abroad. America gained confidence in its cause. Winter could not stop the fight. Courage turned despair into hope. The fight for freedom continued strong. 1777. Saratoga changed the war's course. Americans defeated a major British army. Victory proved the cause was not lost. France recognized the new nation. French troops joined the fight. Spain and the Netherlands soon followed. The rebellion became a global conflict. Lafayette joined Washington as ally. Young leaders inspired the army. Colonies were no longer alone. Confidence spread through the ranks. Strategy meetings now included allies. International support boosted morale. British faced a wider war. Patriots now had strength in numbers. The revolution gained new momentum. France supplied arms and aid. Cooperation strengthened the colonies. Americans fought with renewed courage. Victory seemed within reach. By 1780, war moved to the south. Britain burned villages and farms. Neighbors were divided by loyalty. Guerrilla fighters struck quickly. Ambushes hit British forces. Patriots used forest and swamp tactics. Battles were harsh and bloody. Determination wore down the enemy. Civilians suffered, but remained defiant. Resistance grew stronger. Washington saw opportunity for decisive blows. Southern campaigns were key to victory. Morale shifted in favor of patriots. Guerrilla tactics frustrated British forces. Patriots gained local support. Communities bore scars of battle. Washington coordinated with allies. The final act of revolution neared. Strategy became decisive. Patriots held hope alive. 1781. Yorktown became the final battle. Washington and French generals led armies. Siege lines tightened around British artillery, shook the town. For days, British morale dropped. Cornwallis realized defeat was near. Cannons silenced. As surrender approached, officers handed over their swords. Flags of allies rose together. Celebration spread across the camp. The revolution's final battle was won. Peace negotiations were still ahead. Soldiers and citizens rejoiced. Washington's leadership was celebrated. Yorktown inspired hope for independence. Colonies saw victory was possible. French and Americans shared triumph. Final surrender completed the siege. News spread quickly through colonies. Independence was almost secured. The war ended in 1783. Britain recognized American independence. The colonies became the United States. A fragile new nation emerged. Citizens dreamed of freedom. Leaders built a new republic. The Constitution took form. Liberty was its foundation. Challenges lay ahead. Unity was never easy, yet hope endured. A symbol was raised high. People believed in self-rule. Freedom spread across the land. New generations would defend it. The nation found its voice. Liberty became a shared dream. The world watched in awe. A revolution shaped history. America was born in courage.